Hello, dear cat lovers. Today we'll talk about a very relevant problem that concerns almost every owner of a fluffy pet. Why do cats scratch furniture? Surely many of you reading these lines have involuntarily glanced at your sofa or armchair that bears traces of cat claws. But before getting upset about damaged furniture, let's understand the reasons behind this behavior of our four-legged friends. Interestingly, the history of cats' relationship with furniture spans thousands of years. Even in ancient Egypt, people faced this problem. Archaeologists have found ancient papyri mentioning how cats scratched wooden sarcophagi and furniture. And in medieval European manuscripts, you can find advice on protecting expensive furniture from cat claws. Let's start with the most important thing. Scratching is a vital instinct for cats. In the wild, their ancient ancestors used this action not only to sharpen their claws, but also for survival. Imagine an ancient ancestor of our domestic cat that lived many thousands of years ago. For them, sharp claws were a matter of life and death. They helped to hunt, defend against enemies, and climb trees. Modern research shows that the scratching process engages several important mechanisms in a cat's body. During this action, special receptors in the paw pads are activated, pleasure hormones are released, and important muscular work occurs. Scientists from the University of California conducted an interesting study which found that cats spend, on average, from 15 to 40 minutes a day scratching, dividing this time into short sessions of 2 to 3 minutes. Let's examine the main reasons why cats scratch furniture. And believe me, there are many more than might seem at first glance. The first reason is, of course, the need for claw maintenance. In cats, as in all members of the feline family, claws grow constantly. They consist of several layers, and the outer layer periodically flakes off like scales. In nature, wild cats wear down their claws on tree bark, rocks, and other hard surfaces. Our domestic pets have to find substitutes for natural materials, and often our furniture becomes that substitute. By the way, did you know that the structure of a cat's claw is unique? It consists of two main parts, an inner core and an outer sheath. The outer sheath constantly wears out and needs to be removed. When a cat scratches a surface, it removes this outer layer, exposing a new, sharper claw. This is similar to how we trim our nails. Only for cats this process is vitally necessary. Without regular wearing down, claws can grow into the paw pads, causing pain and inflammation. The second reason is related to territorial behavior, and here things are much more complex than they might seem. The fact is that cats have special pheromone glands on their paws, a real natural perfume factory. When a cat scratches a surface, it leaves not only visible marks, but also a complex chemical message for other cats. Scientists have discovered that this natural autograph contains more than 30 different chemical compounds, each carrying specific information about the age, gender, health status, and even the mood of the cat. Interesting fact, the pheromones that a cat leaves when scratching last up to 2 weeks. That's why cats regularly update their marks. Have you noticed that a cat often returns to the same place for scratching? Now you know why. It's updating its business card. The third reason is a way of communication and self-expression. Imagine that for a cat, scratches on furniture are something like social media posts for humans. They can tell other cats many interesting details. For example, the height of the scratches indicates the size of the cat. The depth of the grooves speaks to strength, and the frequency of mark updates shows how actively the animal marks its territory. In multi-cat households, you can observe real negotiations through scratches. Cats may leave marks on top of each other's, as if arguing about who owns the territory. This is a kind of dialogue that we humans cannot read, but other cats interpret this information flawlessly. The fourth reason for scratching is physical exercise and stretching. When a cat scratches a vertical surface, it simultaneously stretches the muscles of its back, shoulders, and paws. This is a kind of cat yoga. This is especially important for indoor cats that don't have the opportunity to run much and climb trees like their wild relatives. Scratching helps them maintain muscle tone and flexibility. Research shows that during scratching, cats activate the same muscle groups as when climbing trees. This is an evolutionarily fixed mechanism that helps cats stay in shape even in conditions of limited mobility. When a cat stretches to its full height, clinging to a surface with its claws, it can stretch 50% longer than its usual size. The fifth reason is stress relief and emotional release. Yes, cats also experience stress and need ways to relieve it. Scratching for them is a kind of meditation and psychotherapy at the same time. Monotonous movements, pleasant sensations from the process, the release of endorphins. All this helps the cat relax and calm down. Veterinary psychologists note that cats often start scratching furniture more actively during periods of stress. when moving, when a new family member appears during renovations, or simply when the usual daily routine changes. In this way, they try to create a comfort zone around themselves, filled with familiar smells and marks. The sixth reason might surprise you. It's attracting the owner's attention. Cats are intelligent creatures and quickly understand which actions cause an immediate reaction from us. If a cat once noticed that scratching the sofa makes you instantly react, run up, shout, or even just pay attention to it, it may use this technique again and again. In one experiment, scientists observed the behavior of cats in home settings and noticed that some animals began to scratch furniture precisely when the owner was busy and not paying attention to them. As soon as the person reacted, the cat stopped the unwanted behavior. This is a classic example of how negative attention is better for a cat than no attention at all. The seventh reason is related to play behavior. For kittens, scratching is part of play, a way to explore the world and train their hunting skills. Unfortunately, this habit can persist into adulthood, especially if the cat doesn't get enough other opportunities for play and hunting. Interestingly, different cat breeds have different propensities for scratching. For example, active breeds such as Bengal or Abyssinian cats need more physical activity and may scratch furniture more often if they don't get enough exercise. Persian or British cats, on the other hand, are usually less active and may not show as much interest in scratching. The eighth reason is a reaction to changes in the environment. Cats are very sensitive to changes, and scratching can be their way of adapting to new conditions. For example, if new furniture appears in the house, a cat may start scratching it to claim it, to make it part of its territory. Scientists from Tokyo University conducted an interesting study which found that cats are particularly active in scratching new items in the house during the first 48 hours after their appearance. This is a kind of ritual of accepting a new thing into their space. The ninth reason may be related to health. Sometimes increased scratching can be a sign of health problems, from parasites to arthritis or neurological disorders. If a cat has suddenly changed its behavior and started scratching furniture much more actively, this might be a reason to visit a veterinarian. For example, cats with arthritis may scratch horizontal surfaces more often because it's difficult for them to stretch upward. And cats with neurological problems may exhibit compulsive behavior, including excessive scratching. The 10th reason is simply habit and pleasure. Yes, sometimes cats scratch furniture simply because they enjoy it. Pleasant tactile sensations, the sound of claws sliding on fabric or wood, the opportunity to stretch, all this gives cats pleasure. Studies of cats' brain activity show that during scratching, pleasure centers in the brain are activated, and endorphins, happiness hormones, are released. No wonder they strive to repeat this action again and again. Now that we've understood the reasons, let's talk about what to do to preserve both the furniture and a good relationship with your pet. The first and most important thing is to provide your cat with special scratching devices. These can be scratching posts of various types, vertical posts, horizontal loungers, wall panels. The main thing is to choose the right material and location. Cats are very individual in their preferences. Some love sisal, others prefer cardboard, and still others like carpet. Observe your pet. What surfaces in the house does it prefer to scratch? This will tell you what material to choose for the scratching post. Equally important is the proper placement of the scratching post. Many owners complain that they bought an expensive scratching post, but the cat doesn't use it. The secret is that the scratching post should be in a socially significant place, where the cat spends a lot of time, where family members pass by. Don't hide the scratching post in a far corner. It will be useless there. Interesting fact, research shows that cats prefer scratching posts at least 70 centimeters high, as this allows them to stretch to their full height. They also love stable structures. A wobbly scratching post causes distrust and fear in cats. The second important point is training the cat to use the scratching post. This is a process that requires patience and consistency. Never punish a cat for scratching furniture. This will only exacerbate the problem and can cause stress in the animal. Instead, use positive reinforcement. When the cat uses the scratching post, praise it, pet it, give it a treat. You can even play with it near the scratching post using a toy and a string. This will help associate the scratching post with pleasant emotions. If the cat stubbornly ignores the scratching post, try to attract its attention with catnip or special pheromone sprays. Rub the scratching post with catnip or spray it. This might interest your pet. The third way to protect furniture is temporary measures while the cat learns to use the scratching post. You can use double-sided tape or special protective covers on the places that the cat especially likes to scratch. Most cats don't like sticky surfaces and will avoid such places. There are also special sprays with repellent scents, usually based on citrus or other aromas that cats don't like. However, be careful, some cats may react to such smells with stress, which will only exacerbate the problem. The fourth method is regular claw trimming. This won't solve the problem completely, as cats scratch furniture not only to wear down their claws, but it can reduce the damage. It's important to trim the claws correctly, not affecting the living tissue. The pulp. If you're not confident in your skills, it's better to consult a veterinarian or groomer. There are also special soft claw caps, anti-scratch caps. They are put on the cat's claws using save glue and prevent furniture damage. However, such caps need to be changed every 4 to 6 weeks, and not all cats tolerate them well. The fifth method is enriching the cat's environment. Often cats scratch furniture out of boredom or lack of physical activity. Provide your pet with enough toys, organize climbing places, install shelves on the walls where the cat can move around. The more enriched your cat's life is, the less desire it will have to scratch furniture. Research shows that cats with access to vertical spaces, shelves, cat trees, exhibit less problematic behavior, including furniture scratching. This is because in nature, cats are arboreal animals, and the ability to climb to elevated places satisfies their natural needs. The sixth method is regular play with your cat. Dedicate at least 15 to 20 minutes a day to active games with your pet. This will help the cat release energy, relieve stress, and satisfy its hunting instinct. Toys that mimic prey, mice, feathers on a string, laser pointers, are especially effective. Interestingly, research shows a direct link between the amount of time an owner spends playing with their cat and a reduction in problematic behavior. Cats that are regularly played with are 30% less likely to exhibit unwanted behavior, including furniture damage. The seventh method is the use of pheromones. In veterinary pharmacies, you can find special diffusers with synthetic pheromones that help cats feel calmer and safer. This is especially useful in stressful situations, when moving, when a new family member or another animal appears. Clinical trials show that the use of pheromone diffusers can reduce the frequency of unwanted behavior, including furniture scratching, by 40 to 50%. It's not a panacea, but a good addition to other methods. The eighth method is consultation with a veterinary behavioral specialist. If the problem with furniture scratching becomes really serious and nothing helps, it's worth consulting a professional. Your cat may have specific behavioral problems that require an individual approach. A behavioral specialist can develop a behavior modification program tailored to your specific cat. This approach is especially effective in complex cases where standard methods don't work. And finally, the most important thing, patience and understanding. Remember that scratching for a cat is not an act of vandalism or revenge, but a natural need. Our task is not to completely eradicate this behavior, but to direct it in the right direction. Research shows that most behavioral problems in cats are resolved within 2 to 3 months with the right and consistent approach. The main thing is not to give up and continue working on the problem. In conclusion, I'd like to say that the relationship with a cat is always a dialogue, not a monologue. We cannot simply forbid a cat from following its natural instincts, but we can find a compromise that will suit both us and our furry friends. We hope that this information was useful and will help you better understand your pet. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your stories in the comments. And next time we'll talk about how to choose the perfect scratching post for your pet. Until next time,